What's going on, guys? It's the Rockstar coming at you guys with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about where will Nick Foles land? Okay, so we all know the Eagles are not going to be re-signing Nick Foles. He's going to be testing out free agency, and the Eagles will be rocking with Carson Wentz. I don't think anyone's really surprised here, if I'm being honest. I mean, do I think the Eagles should have re-signed him? Yes. Because, I mean, he's a beast, let's be honest. But, yeah, I can see why the Eagles didn't want to re-sign him. I completely understand. But I still think that they should have re-signed him. I've come down to three teams, just like I did with Le'Veon Bell. I've come down to three teams that I think he could sign with. One of them might be controversial. The other two, I think most people would agree with. The first one's the New York Giants. Obviously, Eli Manning. You know, everyone knows that. The second one is, the Jaguars. And then the third one was the Detroit Lions. Now, I think most people would agree with the first two, the Giants and the Jaguars. But the Lions, I don't know if people would really agree with me on this one. The reason I say the Lions is, well, obviously Matthew Stafford's getting older, and he's not exactly an elite quarterback. I think, Lions fans wouldn't agree with that one, probably. Some of them would, but I think the general consensus is that Matthew Stafford is not, he's average to below average, in my opinion, and in most of people's opinions, too. I'd say he's probably bottom five in the league as a quarterback, if I'm being honest. So that's the reason I think Detroit would sign him. But, all right, the Giants. Obviously, Eli Manning, this is probably his last season as a Giant and in the NFL. And so that's probably why they'd sign him. I mean, Eli Manning, he's not what he used to be. Eli Manning used to be an elite quarterback. Now he's just kind of relegated to being a bench warmer, if we're all being honest. And then, he's just not what he used to be. He can't throw as long anymore. He's much more injury prone now, and he's just not a great player. And then the Jaguars, obviously, the whole Blake Bortles experiment didn't work very well. Blake Bortles is worse than Matthew Stafford. Blake Bortles is worse than Eli Manning. Blake Bortles is probably the worst starting quarterback in the league. And, okay, so now it comes down to where the real decision is. I think Nick Foles is going to take where the most money is. And the Jaguars probably aren't going to have that money because they paid Blake Bortles a lot. They paid both their corners a bunch. The Jaguars have a good team. They just don't work well together. That's how I see it. And obviously the quarterback being Blake Bortles isn't really helping. And so most people think he's going to end up in the Jaguars. I don't. I think he's going to be a New York Giant because the Giants are going to have the money to pay him, because the Giants are probably a really good fit for Nick Foles when you think about the offense they run and all that. And also, Nick Foles wants to have a team where he can win. Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, all them, that's going to be an offense that Nick Foles is going to want to play in. And so all these reasons are exactly the reasons I think Nick Foles will be a New York Giant. And if he's not a New York Giant, yeah, he's probably going to be a Jaguar if he's not a Giant. But, yeah, he's probably not going to sign with the Lions. I just think if he comes down to three teams, I think those are the three teams he's going to consider. And, you can agree with me or you can disagree. I don't care. But I'm just being honest. Those are the three teams I think he's going to come down to. And at the end of the day, I think he's going to sign at the Giants. That's what I truly think. So, Nick Foles, though, like, he's going to be able to help the Giants organization back to where they were in the 2011 season, upsetting the Patriots. I mean, that's pretty big, but Nick Foles, even though he's technically a backup, I mean, he's proven. He's a former Super Bowl MVP, y'all. I mean, he's proven he's an elite quarterback. And yeah, some people may say he's not as good as Carson Wentz, but I hate to say it, the stats really don't back that up. You can argue with me as much as you want, but is Carson Wentz the former Super Bowl MVP? No. And yeah, that was because of an injury, but Nick Foles was basically just coming in the playoffs. Like, he basically came in like a chicken with its head cut off. I mean, he didn't know Carson Wentz was going to get injured, but he still took them to the Super Bowl and upset the Patriots. And he didn't even have that long to prepare for this because Carson Wentz got injured late. So, I mean, for the amount of time he had, Nick Foles is a god, let's be honest. And, yeah, that's the truth. Nick Foles is probably going to be either a Giant or a Jaguar. I want him to be a Giant. I don't want him to be a Jaguar because the Jaguars already, like, God. If that team has a good quarterback, they're going to be insane. But, yeah, I think he's going to be a Giant. And that's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, rock on.